Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi or through one of our online affiliates around the world, including our iHeartRadio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome back to our program today best-selling author Jeffery Deaver. He's celebrating his brand new book in the Lincoln Rhyme series called The Cutting Edge. We're going to talk to Jeffery not only about the success of this series, but also what it's been like for him to see the response to Lincoln throughout the years, as well as, of course, the villains he's been able to create as well. If you're just hearing about the new book, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can get your own copy of it. But Jeffery, hello to you and welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you, Cyrus. Always enjoy talking to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, congratulations to you on this new book, The Cutting Edge. Once again, you've given us a page-turner, Jeffery, that I think readers around the world are enjoying. You yourself are crisscrossing the country promoting the book right now. What has it been like for you already to see the response to it, Jeffery?
Oh, I'm just delighted. I have to admit, when you put out your baby into the world, you might say, you never know what's going to happen. And I had to take a deep breath and, okay, I know the New York Times review is coming out today, and I'm going to ignore it completely. I'm not going to check email. I promise myself I'm not going to check email. And, of course, what do I do 5 seconds later? I check email. Well, this year worked out well. The New York Times gave it a great review. The Washington Post did. It was a starred book, and I think Publishers Weekly, and the reviews are coming in very, very nice. So that's always a big relief. And the importance of that is for me is that, as we've talked before, I write for the readers. This is all about them,
right.
And so a good review isn't necessarily kudos and a pat on the back for Jeff. It's that somebody, the critic, has thought that this is worthy for readers to spend their time with, and that's very important to me. So that's been very satisfying for me.
Yeah, and Jeffery, what I love about your books, and I'm not just saying this because I'm speaking to you and I enjoy our conversations, is that you're able to take a very simple situation and make it something that will make us afraid. You've done it in some of your other books so skillfully. The Cutting Edge, once again, you've done it where people who are just going about their lives trying to enjoy, these special events and these things happen. Is that part of the fun for you to see, okay, exactly where can I cause chaos next?
Very well said. I always look for ways to create what I call it as an emotionally engaging book. There was the great writer Mickey Spillane some years ago said, people don't read books to get to the middle. they read books to get to the end. And it's our job as authors to make sure they speed through the book is just nonstop. And so I look for situations that will let me do that. And in The Cutting Edge, the twist was that here are people who are going to get married, and they're happy and they're relaxed and looking forward to their nuptials, and they're either buying a wedding ring or maybe looking for a wedding dress or talking to a wedding planner, and who's watching them the whole time? This fellow called the Promiser, who, for reasons that are ultimately revealed, turns out to have some really unpleasant things in store for them. And that was a very simple scenario. I had never done it before. I'd never looked at the world of diamonds, and so I thought, okay, this is where we're going to go.
Yeah. To that point, one of the things that we've gotten to see with Lincoln Rhyme as well as with Sachs is that not only, of course, their dedication to try to bring about justice, but what we see in The Cutting Edge that I wanted to mention to you that you and I had not discussed before, Jeffery, is almost the appreciation they have for the person that is the promiser. And maybe even in other situations, when you find someone who is obviously, have done great things, there's a great scene in the book that you write where they're thinking about this individual, and Sachs is kind of, almost marveling, at the good this person has done before all of this other stuff happens. But you have this great line in the book that says, "Murder was, of course, murder." Is that also part of the fun for you to be able to create these villains that are layered in that sense? They're not just someone going around wreaking havoc, but they do have a backstory.
When I look at my the plot, and as we've talked, I plot my books out way ahead of time, and I'm more of a plot-driven author than a character-driven author. I still realize that the characters have to be living, breathing human beings. Otherwise, the best plot in the world is useless if we don't care about the people. And I always keep in mind this phrase: the villain is the hero of his or her own story, and they have their goals and aspirations too. Now, we might not like what they intend to do, but nonetheless, they have their own integrity, they have their own backstory, they have their own goals. And Amelia and Lincoln recognize that. And Amelia in particular, because she is the human cop. You know, Lincoln is the kind of cold, distant, rational, scientific police person. Amelia is the human cop, the one who gets into the minds of the characters. And so she appreciates that this fellow who has very, very many layers to his personality, one of which is, of course, horrific, but nonetheless, he still is somebody who has this love of diamonds and you could say art, and then also some really sick side to him as well. And so she understands that, and I think it makes the character come alive.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I experienced that for myself with The Cutting Edge. Again, everyone, best-selling author Jeffery Deaver is our guest for this segment. We've been discussing with him not only, of course, the newest book, The Cutting Edge, but what it's been like for him to write for you, the reader, and now he's given us another great book. It's available through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite bookstore. And, Jeffrey, let our audience know how they can stay connected with you.
Oh, sure. My website's jeffreydeaver.com, where they can learn far more about me than they would ever want to know. And, of course, Facebook and Twitter at Jeffery Deaver.
Got you. Well, Jeffrey, thank you so much. I know you have a crazy busy schedule this week. We really appreciate the time as you are, as I said, crisscrossing the country, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
I can't wait. You take care, Cyrus. Thank you now.
Thank you. You did the same thing, Jeffrey. Thank you for that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Jeffrey, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share it with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.